politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. Today we have Amy Parnell and Nick Catrick. We're going to be talking about the Nature Museum and the Fairy House Festival coming up, and an update with the Chamber of Commerce. But first, Marty with the local events.
So at the Bellows Falls Opera House, this isn't confirmed because I can't find a poster and I can't find anything on their website, but I believe the movie for this week will be Hamilton. I do know, however, what the classic movie tonight is, and the classic movie tonight is Goodfellas, and that's being sponsored by Chroma Technology. And that's an iconic movie. If you haven't seen Goodfellas, you definitely need to go see it 'cause it's a great movie. Also happening at the Bellows Falls Opera House is movies about changing the world. The last two movies in the series are happening this Thursday and next Thursday. Rotary has helped sponsor a portion of these movies and their ability to be shown, and Rotary will actually have a table there, so if you have questions about Rotary, you can stop by. There is an admission fee. I do believe that they may have dropped the admission fee from the original week when they started. Don't quote me on that. But the movies are local filmmakers, and they are definitely movies about change and you know, the power of what a community can do if they put their minds together. So it's worth checking out.
Great.
And I have very short, because I knew you guys would have a lot to talk about, so I kept my local events
So where do we want to
simple.
start? Do we want to start with the chamber update? Or
Sure.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk about is something I'm really excited to share. We are soft launching this week our new community calendar that covers all 10 of the communities that we serve. And so right now you can see the events that the Great Falls Chamber is putting on and BIFTA is putting on, and I've added a few from the Nature Museum because I know
nice.
about them. And one of the member benefits to being a BIFTA or a chamber member will be to have access to post your events to this community calendar that reaches outside of just Bellows Falls, outside of just Rockingham, also to Putney, to Grafton, to Charlestown, Walpole, all of those communities out there that are in our area. So
That's a first, because I know that's one of the difficulties, one of the challenges, let's say that, is that letting everyone know it's a regional chamber of commerce. It's not just Bellows Falls and the surrounding area. It's the whole region. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see that community right now. It's live on our website. If you go to gfrcc.org, and then at the very top, there's community calendar. Click on that, and you can see what's going on in our area.
Nice.
So that's really exciting.
Did you build that a little bit off of, the town was doing that for a while. I don't know if they, or BIFTA was, the town, BIFTA somewhere, I think it's on the town website, but that was just strictly, I think, what was happening in
For Bellows
Rockingham, so
Falls.
you're doing the whole thing. But is
Yeah.
that, did that help you populate some things, having that
Yeah.
availability? Yeah,
Yep.
because it's good to have it in multiple places, because people aren't always gonna look in the same,
At
it's
one or
same
the
place.
other, yep. And
Yeah.
you know, some people find their events on Facebook, but not everybody uses Facebook. So this is kind of a location
Yeah.
where people can go
No, it's great.
no matter where they're coming from. We also have, you know, on our website, each community, I've linked their town website so that
Oh,
you can
wonderful.
find the town
nice.
calendar.
Oh, good.
And if that community has a
Yeah.
downtown development alliance like we do, then I also link that. So, you know, I've been working closely with Betsy and also the new person, Casey, who's the new executive director as of this week. They are,
Breaking
News,
news.
you heard it here first. Casey and I are working on this together
nice.
also. So I'm really excited that it's out there for
Yeah, I
people to
think
use.
The more redundancy, the more places, then people have no excuse then to not understand what's
You're
happening.
gonna know what's going on.
Exactly.
Yep. So that I'm really thrilled. And one of the first things, if you go to the calendar today, the first event you're going to see is what's happening this evening, and it's the very first meeting of our brand new Lego robotics team for 4th through 8th graders.
Yeah.
Last year, when I was working in Springfield, I helped to launch the Springfield Lego robotics team. the River Valley Rads, which are, they are located and housed, so to speak, at the River Valley Tech Center. They were the national champions this year for aerial
Wow.
drones.
That's great.
And I'm working closely with their head coach, Chris Gray, and then also Ben McVetti from the Black River Innovation Campus to bring this activity to Bellows Falls and the region.
Where is it going to be in Bellows Falls tonight?
It's going to be at the Waypoint Center.
Okay.
So that's 17 Depot Street. And if you go on the community calendar, you can register to participate. There's also a survey on that registration form that asks what availability you might have and your student might have. We had 17 students come to our interest meeting a couple Saturdays ago. And
That's
so
great.
we chose Wednesday based on their feedback, but if additional people are interested in participating, I encourage them to sign up, and we might add a second date, a second night of the week, a second team, if there's enough interest.
So you're just forming the team, though? You don't have a neat name yet?
We don't have a name yet. Maybe we'll choose that tonight. Yeah, I can't wait to
Let
see
the kids decide.
what these tweens come up with. But that's really fun. My son is 9, and he's an avid roboticist and
Nice.
loves the coding and so, you know, in addition to the fairy and nature things that I love to do, I also love to get into the tech side. And both of these things are a really kind of very early career development type of thing.
Yes.
You're innovating, you're designing, it's STEAM education. You know, the teeny tiny little kids that are building a house, like maybe someday they'll be an architect. Yeah, and then, you know, going onward from that, you've got your robotics club, problem solving together, you know, working on challenges together, and it's just a couple of really great opportunities
Yes,
for the
I
youth
agree.
in our area. Yeah, so those are 2 things on our calendar right now.
Well, we should include Nick, though.
Yeah.
He's over there. We haven't said anything to.
Yeah.
Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself and the Nature Museum.
Sure.
Like, how did you get there, and where is it?
Yeah, so the Nature Museum's in Grafton, and it was founded in Grafton. But for folks who are in Bellows Falls, you'll notice the Fish Ladder Visitor Center. We also do the education for that, for Great River Hydro there. And so I started at the Nature Museum back in the middle of the pandemic, and was actually building a natural playscape while we couldn't do programs in the schools. And then I became the executive director, and unfortunately, I don't do as much education, but I'm able to enable our amazing educators to get out there and the schools and everything. So it's great work, and the Nature Museum is just such a. I think not everybody knows how much the Nature Museum does.
I don't think people do.
It's-
I was amazed at how much
either.
staff you had when I looked at your website.
You know,
so.
we have 3 full-time staff and many more part-time, and even with that, we can't keep up with it. But we do programs in schools and after-school programs. We're trying piloting an immersive school program right now, which I know as schools change, we're looking at changing with the schools. And the Fairy House Festival, obviously, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, which is this is the 16th annual Fairy House Festival. I mentioned the Fish Ladder Visitor Center, which is Memorial Day through Labor Day, and that we staff there, as well as the Summer Unplugged program, which is free environmental education programs. We do seasonal camps, like day camps over the summer, and we had, I think, 9 weeks of camps this year. We also do other events, like we go and visit other wildlife festivals. We do tables at various things like that. We do adult programs. The list goes on. Of course, people can come to the museum and see the wildlife. We're trying to restore a wetland and a meadow there too. So yeah, as I mentioned, we do a lot.
Yeah, do a lot.
And there's a lot of different things for people to engage with up there.
When you say an immersive program, what does that mean?
Yeah, so I think when we think about an environmental education program, often what comes to mind is like a 45-minute, you go and you engage with them for a little while, and then you go on and do the rest of your day. We found that particularly with kids in schools, they really benefit from like a half day or a full day and immersive, and that's what it means by immersive, really spending a lot of time either in nature or playing in nature or learning, the kind of the science education, which is so important. So a combination of those things has a lasting impact, and we'll see kids who come out, like for instance, from a camp day and say, I had no idea that this was happening about frogs in the pond or insects in the meadow. I didn't know that this kind of moth existed. I didn't know that gray foxes looked like this in the field. So we see a lot higher impact with a program like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little, I know it's the 16th annual, but tell us a little bit about the Fairy Festival. Is it just for kids or can adults go too?
Well, it's a lot of people think it's just for kids, but it really is
It's
not.
probably more kids.
I know I have a lot of fun when I go there.
I'm gonna put, it's not just for kids, it's for
Not
me
at all.
too.
And we encourage people, it's not required, but we encourage you to dress up, and it's a great way to engage with magic. So much in the nature world we talk about science, and sometimes we forget that natural beauty is a part of our experience. Play is an incredibly important part of our experience. So the Fairy House Festival is not just a chance for kids to come and play and enjoy and explore. It's a chance for adults to do it too. And we see that with, we have over 100 builders this year that have signed up, and
really cool.
they're sitting at home. They'll go and collect natural materials, and they'll build these small fairy structures that we put on our trail. But it's a great way to engage. Like, what does this grass look like up close? What is this moss? How, what am I identifying as I'm building? And these things, they're ephemeral too. They'll disappear into the woods over time. And so it's a great lesson in just ecology, but a relationship with the natural world. So it is for all ages, and I encourage you to come and play. It's really neat, especially at times like this. Have fun a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And we took advantage of that. On the last Monday, we had a play group with the Springfield Area Parent-Child Center, and we went to Muckross State Park, which is right along the road going into Springfield,
It's just by the bike path?
just by the bike
Yeah.
path. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I lost count of how many people were there, but we bumped into the park ranger as he was leaving, and he said, "I have never seen so many people in this parking lot on a Monday. And what are you doing here?" And so it was a stroller accessible trail, so that's why we chose it. And we had babies in carriers and people with strollers and grandparents and all different ages exploring the woods, looking for shapes. Looking for textures, looking for colors, and we found a tiny frog, and it was just, and there was a pond, and hearing the questions that the kids were posing about it. It's really this beautiful, immersive way to introduce an experience in nature and interaction with nature, and seeing nature as both something that we can give to and that we can receive from. So we had that experience, and then we invited everyone who had attended that to also come to the Waypoint and build on Friday. And we had probably a dozen people come, and we created fairy houses with some materials that we had gathered, some materials that had been donated by Wyndham Antique Center. They gave us a bunch of seashells and some little pebbles and stuff we could use as sparkly jewels. And then community members that were outside that saw us doing it also came in. So it was like, you can come too. You're all welcome. So we've got one more of these coming up. It's on Thursday, the 25th of September, 2 days before the festival, from 2 to 4 p.m. I have an online registration also on the calendar on our website. And I've invited the Bellows Falls Senior Center to participate to, I want some intergenerational opportunities to connect. So hopefully some folks from there will come up. We'll have some little kids, we'll have some older folks, and I'll put on some sparkly fairy music, and we'll all just be calm and happy together. And then on the Friday, my son's class is going to the Nature Museum. He goes to the grammar school, which is another chamber member, and they are going to build on site. So I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity and bring all of the houses that we build here in Bellows Falls, and I'd like to put them on the ADA accessible trail and really populate that so that everybody can see them.
So speaking of that brings up the question for folks that don't know, where does the festival happen and how does it work? Like where it's not in the building, right?
No, and we have a very small building, but it's in Grafton itself, 186 Townsend Road, and so it's really in the middle of Grafton. And we have on our website where you can park and you can walk into the front gate and be greeted by the fairy royalty. We encourage folks to buy tickets in advance. You can buy them at the door, but it's a little cheaper in advance, and it really helps our staff manage it all. And we're going to see probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people over that weekend. So there's a lot of folks there. It still feels like a small town festival, but there's all sorts of directions on our website, and folks can call and ask questions too.
And you walk through the woods, is that?
Yeah,
what you do?
there's multiple ways to do that. There's our traditional ferry trail, which goes up through the woods, through our meadow and through the woods, and that's where most of the ferry houses are. But we do have what we call a gentler trail. I wouldn't call it ADA accessible, but it's a lot closer. It's a little bit flatter and it's a little shorter. And we also install ferry houses along that trail and have some activities along there. So folks who have strollers or walkers might be able to get around that area a little bit more. And there's plenty to do right next to the building. We have local merchants, we have performers, we have food vendors, and our new teaching pavilion is there for a gathering place. So there's a lot to do, not just go see ferry houses, but engage with the community
Yeah,
there.
I thought it was important to expand a little bit of what it's a full experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and the arts and crafts. I was an arts and crafts volunteer one year and made probably 100 little felted wool mushrooms. That was really fun. Are there any opportunities for sponsorship if a business would like to support this?
Absolutely, and we have several businesses who have already supported us, and you'll see them when you get to the festival. We have our place called the Gratitude Garden, because we're big about gratitude at the Nature Museum, and you can see who's sponsored us there. But also, if folks are interested in sponsoring the Ferry House Festival, it supports the Nature Museum's year-round work. So it's giving to the cause of environmental education. We've passed the deadline where we can include that in our program for printing purposes, but we welcome anybody getting in touch about sponsoring the festival itself.
And what about volunteers? Do you still, I mean, I'm assuming this is a pretty big undertaking for a staff of, what you said, 4, 5?
3 full-time staff, but we have like maybe 11, including part-time. But still, it's
What's
a
it
lot.
say? Probably a lot. If you're managing 1,500 to 2,000 people,
Yeah.
then so are there opportunities for people to volunteer?
Absolutely. Like most nonprofits, we thrive with volunteers. And actually on our website, you can sign up to be a volunteer, or you could just show up and say, hey, I've got a few minutes, how can I help? We'll be at the front gate. But there's also opportunities other times of the year to help the Nature Museum, especially with our conservation projects and taking care of the Magic Forest playscape and things like that.
Who would the ferry royalty?
Well, the longtime...
Or what are the ferry royalty?
Right. That's one of the best parts of the experience is when you come into the festival, you're greeted by the royalty there, and the longtime reigning fairy queen is Laurie Danforth, who's the president of our board of directors, and she looks magnificent, and so everybody gets the opportunity to come in and get sprinkled with environmentally friendly fairy dust. So,
Nice.
something you can look forward
Very
to.
nice.
Yeah, but there's other royal court members there who are represent throughout the day.
And I've got fairy wing envy for both of them because their wings are so beautiful.
Oh, they're incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're also looking for volunteers because we've got a festival coming up as well.
So kind of the other opposite.
Yeah,
It's flannel and warm things.
right. Yeah, if any Ferry House volunteers want to keep the magic going into the Flannel Festival, we would welcome them. You get a free ticket into the festival, and you get a free lunch from any one of our food vendors.
really?
We've got 70 vendors signed up.
Wow.
Not just food vendors, but 70 total, and I think over a dozen of them are local food trucks and folks like that. So if there are any folks that want to get that free food and fun, then you can sign up either on our Facebook or our website.
And what are the dates for the Flannel Festival again?
18th and 19th of October. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, so if you can't make one, you can make the other maybe. And there's also a pie contest. So bakers, on your mark, get set, sign up and bake a pie of your choice. And you can win prizes and the honor and glory of being the best pie maker in Southern Vermont.
Well, you're sitting right next to a
Oh,
pie
well,
maker.
maybe we'll all have
Not
to
me,
taste
not
it.
me,
Oh,
not
no,
me,
you?
Mike.
I've
Mike and
entered
Sue,
some
no,
of those.
Mike.
Who's the pie maker?
Yeah.
You're a good pie maker?
You entered it. Didn't you
don't-
enter a contest a couple of years? Haven't you
I
entered?
entered this contest.
That's what I thought.
My
Yeah.
son beat me.
Oh, okay. Well, keep it in the
Well,
family. That's good.
You know,
But-
there's a chance to
Yeah.
redeem yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it sort of was a family thing. We all, Sue and myself and my son entered, and it was fun. Yeah. We had a great time.
Yeah. And I think also, like you, we're always seeking sponsorship and support for our mission. For the Flannel Festival, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year, we already have some really excellent sponsors. We've got the Bellows Falls Moose, Savings Bank of Walpole, Harvest Barn, James Oil, the Springfield Hospital, Richards Group, 802 Credit Union, and the Polish American Club of Bellows Falls are all sponsoring. And I just visited the eye doctor on your way into Bellows Falls, and he said he's going to sign up too. It's not too
good.
late.
Dr. Johnson, yes.
Yeah, so let us know if you're interested in getting the word out to the community for your business. We see 5,000 to 6,000 attendees. 70% of them are from within 30 miles of here, and over 50% are from within 5 miles. So it's a hyper-local,
really? Yeah.
hyper-regional opportunity to advertise your business.
And you said that this year you're having, you're going to kind of work on the parking.
We've got it. I'm so pleased to announce that the Civil Air Patrol of Hartness Airport, and Rutland and Bennington, they are all coming to be our parking crew.
Because that's kind of a huge component of it.
Yeah, I met with them last Thursday, and we went over the site. We're working on the plans together. We're using GIS data to be very precise, and create the schedule of the volunteers so that we can meet the needs, and using the data that I have from previous year's events to show the flow of traffic and how long people stay. I think we can nail it this year.
Good, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's
Aside from the food vendors, what are some of the other vendors, if you could? I'm probably kind of putting you on the spot. but,
Yeah,
like, just for
so
people.
I know that we've got the winner of our Best Vendor People's Choice Award at the Rockingham Old Home Days. Bob Patterson Woodworking will be there. We've got, let's see, who else? I think that she sent me a list. I don't have it all in my head, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
I know you're coming on again right before.
I'll give
so
a
we
whole
can-
bunch of
yeah.
details that day. But our Bumbles Birria, who was the People's Choice winner at the Old Home Days, is also going to be there. And a lot of return vendors from previous years. So if your favorites were there before, chances are they're going to be here again.
Are there food vendors at the Fairy Festival? Do you have food vendors too?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do have a few, and we're always looking for more possibilities too. So if somebody's a food vendor in the area and they're interested, please get in touch.
Okay, great. So we're down to just about 2 minutes. So you want to give a quick recap of when, where, why, and how on the Nature Museum Fairy Festival?
Sure. So September 27th, 28th, it's that weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's usually the last weekend in September. You can find more details on our website, naturemuseum.org. But you can also call or stop in, and we're happy to chat. Volunteers can sign up online. We still have time for that. We are filled with builder slots, but that doesn't mean you can always come to the festival and find some materials there and build too. And it's fun for all ages.
That's great. Just when it's not the festival, what are your regular hours? Like what days of the week and what times?
Our grounds are actually open dawn to dusk every day, so folks can come and wander through the meadow and go to the playscape. But the museum itself is open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 4. And the Fish Ladder Visitor Center is open in the summer. I believe it's Memorial Day through Labor Day, Friday and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Okay, thank you. Amy, want some final points?
We've got our new fall hours going. I have those up, and they are Wednesday from 3 to 7, Thursday from 10 to 3, and Friday from 10 to 3.
Oh, that's good.
Great. I think that's, any other closing?
No.
Just get out, if both entities are looking for volunteers, it's a great way to get into, I'm assuming if you're a volunteer, you get into the event and you might not have to work the whole day. We know that at the Flannel Festival, you don't have to work 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to go do something that you might not want to pay for admission, or maybe you can't pay for admission. You can volunteer your time, and then you get to have all the same perks.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it for this week on the feed. We'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
Thanks for having us.
That's right.
Mike and